Secure the car, make it safe if necessary. Once the crossing is clear, the lights have changed to green. If safe, move off. Roundabouts, approaching and emerging. The aims and objectives of this session are to show you how to deal with roundabouts, paying particular attention to lane discipline and priority situations. When turning right at a roundabout, check your inside and right mirrors, signal right, select the correct lane and start early observations to your right, looking for a safe gap in which to emerge. Keep checking all the time, remembering at all times traffic from your right has priority. As soon as it's safe, adopt the correct lane, checking your mirrors, in particular looking for vehicles coming down the sides of you. And now you're looking for your exit position, check the inside and left door mirror, signal left as you pass the last exit before the one you want. Check the door mirror, looking for motorcyclists, and in the new road check your rear view mirror. When going ahead at a roundabout, pay particular attention to the road markings and the information on the road boards, as you may well approach in either the left or the right lane. If there are two lanes going ahead, then you would normally choose the left-hand lane unless you had a specific reason for choosing the right-hand lane, such as turning right shortly after the roundabout. Whichever lane you approach the roundabout in, maintain that lane throughout until you're ready to exit. At that point, check the appropriate door mirrors, signal to the left and exit the roundabout safely. Checking your rear view mirror immediately to see what's going on behind you. When turning left at a roundabout, check your inside and left mirror, give the appropriate signal and get into the correct position early. Early observations to your right so that if it's possible you can keep moving. Check your near side door mirror. And once in the new road, check your rear view mirror, looking for following traffic. At the mini roundabout, we'll be turning left, so check your inside and left mirrors, give the appropriate signal, and check across the roundabout to see where approaching traffic is going. Select second gear for mini roundabouts. As you enter the new road, check your near side door mirror, check your rear view mirror and straighten up. No further signal is required. When planning to go ahead at a mini roundabout, generally speaking a signal is not required. It is important, however, that you try to go round the roundabout and not over it. Carry out your normal observational checks as you approach the roundabout, checking your near side door mirror as you exit, and again checking your rear view mirror to see if anybody's trying to overtake you. When you're approaching a mini roundabout with the intention of turning right, check your mirrors, signal to the right, position yourself to the right, check all around the roundabout, making sure you go round the roundabout as much as possible without going over it. There is not time to signal as you come off. Check your inside mirror and your rear view mirror to see if anybody's trying to overtake you. Motorway driving. It is likely that at some stage or other on your Part 2 test it will be taken out onto a motorway or dual carriageway. Clearly the examiner wants to see how you handle driving at higher speeds and how you can cope with the additional problems that high-speed driving can bring. You will be expected to drive right up to the speed limit wherever appropriate, even if it's raining. You will approach the motorway by way of a slip road, signalling right on approach to the motorway. Think of it as an acceleration lane. You should use the slip road to pick up speed so that as you merge with the traffic on your right, you do not cause it to slow down or take any avoiding action. Continue to check your mirrors, signalling right, glance into the right as you reach the give-way line. Do not do a full blind spot check over your right shoulder as you merge onto the motorway. Remember, it's important not to stay in an overtaking lane unless you are actually intending to overtake. Whilst driving along, continue to check your mirrors regularly, every 5 or 6 seconds, looking for other vehicles that are about to overtake you. Remember also that it's important not to signal just as another vehicle is coming up behind you, showing clear intentions of overtaking you. Wait until it at least draws level with you and then signal and slip in behind. And then if necessary drop back to your 2-second gap. When planning to overtake, consider your speed in relation to the vehicle in front. Ask yourself, can you overtake it without breaking the speed limit? Check your mirrors, consider your position and speed in relation to the vehicle in front. Then go into your MSPSL routine, checking the mirrors again, signalling to the right, accelerating smoothly, if necessary drop a gear to increase your speed. Continue overtaking several vehicles at once. There's no point in trying to come out in between. Before you do resume your near side lane, check your inside and left mirror, signal again, cancel the signal once you're safely into your lane, and then look for opportunities to go back again into the left hand lane, checking the inside and left mirrors, signalling, and again smoothly into your lane, cancelling the signal once you've straightened up, and again regularly checking the rear view mirror to see what's going on behind you. So to recap, the key points here are always to maintain at least a 2-second gap at all times. Don't stay in the overtaking lanes any longer than is absolutely necessary. Drive up to the speed limit where possible, and make sure there is a slight pause of 2 to 3 seconds between signalling and changing lanes. The first exit marker is at the 1 mile, and at that point you should consider your position in order not to be trapped in an overtaking lane at the point that you wish to exit the motorway, bearing in mind that you need to be able to change lanes safely. Be aware of the slip roads merging from the left. You may have to adjust your speed and position to accommodate the traffic. The second marker is a half a mile from the exit, and by now, if you're planning to leave the motorway, you should be in the near side lane. Do not consider overtaking at this stage, however slowly the traffic in front of you might be moving. At the 300-yard marker, check your mirrors and indicate left. The 200 and 100-yard markers are warning you of the approaching slip road. At this point, you should be checking the information on the traffic boards to ensure that you're in the correct lane. Check your mirrors, cancel the signal, adjust your speed on the slip road to fit in with the flow of the traffic. Be aware that if you have been travelling at higher speeds for some time, it may well affect your judgment of lower speeds. Continue looking for road signs and road markings as you progress along the slip road. General driving, rural roads and town. You will probably be required to demonstrate your ability to handle both town and country situations. There are of course as many dangers in rural driving as there are in town driving. Usually there are no pavements, and coupled with winding roads and sharp bends, this can be a recipe for disaster for the unwary. Also, you are likely to encounter mud on the road, agricultural vehicles, animals of all shapes and sizes, including horses. With regard to horses, it is of course important to give them a wide berth. Reduce your speed appropriately. When the rider expresses his thanks, the appropriate response from you does not include blowing your horn. Be aware that farm animals are not generally well acquainted with the highway code and may have a tendency to wander all over the road. Look for concealed entrances and be continually monitoring your speed to suit the road. Many rural roads enjoy the benefits of the national speed limit, and when safe and appropriate, you should drive up to the speed limit if possible. Be aware of changing speed limits and signs warning you of various animals. Also be alert to the dangers of pedestrians walking in the road. The highway code says they should be walking towards the oncoming traffic, but this may not be the case. You should always be able to stop well within the distance that you can see to be clear. On approach to bends, check your mirrors, and if necessary, select a lower gear. Apologies for the vertical white line. This is not a rural phenomenon. No, indeed, it's much rarer, being caused by the sun. In conclusion, don't be lulled into a false sense of security by the apparent quietness of a country lane. Be alert at all times, expecting the unexpected. Town driving will require increased awareness and forward planning. Always expect the worst and employ the what if policy. What if the pedestrian runs towards the crossing or the lights change? Pay attention to cycle lanes, looking for cyclists at all times. Be aware of buses and also bus lanes. Pay a particular attention to their operating times. Be constantly aware of traffic emerging without showing consideration. Check your mirrors. Are you aware of how close the vehicle behind you is? What about the pedestrian crossing? Keep using your MSM routine at all times, looking for potential hazards. Make sure you're always aware of what's behind you. Is anybody trying to overtake you? What about the vehicle on the right? Is that likely to emerge? We have pedestrians on the left, and we're coming up into a narrowing situation. There may be doors opening, pedestrians walking out in front of us. Be prepared to adjust your speed appropriately. Consider using a lower gear. Is the pedestrian on the left likely to open his door? If so, have you got room? Keep looking well ahead, using your MSM routine at all times, looking for hazards. Anything that causes the vehicle to change speed or direction will of course require you to check the appropriate mirrors.